Hey, what's up guys, John here. Home builder confidence is through the roof.
Builder confidence rising for the 7th consecutive month.
Home prices are through the roof. Mortgage rates are through the roof. None of it makes any sense. A lot of people are looking at these home prices saying, how is this possible? I mean, what's the big play here? Is it to invest in real estate and just hold on long term because inflation is going to likely continue to run rampant? No. I think we're going to see the greatest rug pull in the housing market. And it's not because of home prices, it's because of this new law that's coming. I think we're going to see millions and millions, billions, possibly even trillions made because of what's happening. Now that might sound crazy to some, but I'm going to show you the law and then you'll understand where I'm coming from. Please hit the like button. When you hit the like button, YouTube's going to share this content to educate more people about what's really going on in the housing market, because what's coming is going to be nuts. And if you're a real estate investor, if you are an entrepreneur, business owner, you'll likely be able to make a lot of money based on these changes. Now, some people are going to have an opinion that it's a good thing. Some are going to say it's a horrible thing. Some are going to say it's real. Some are going to say it's fake. And opinions mean nothing. The only thing that really matters is fact. What is actually happening? This is what's actually happening. Home builder confidence up again as demand for new construction continues, right? We're seeing all these headlines. Home prices near record highs as supply drops. Redfin, right? Mortgage rates, if you have bad credit, say a 640 to 659, 8.66%. Now the average credit score in America is a 698, right? So you're about 8% for a 30-year fixed. Perfect credit, 7%. You might have a loan officer, maybe they can do a little bit better. This is what they're quoting, right? And so when you're looking at these home prices, and let's say you have a 7.5% mortgage rate at a $500,000 loan amount, right? You're looking at $3,496 a month. That's saying you're going conventional, meaning you're not going FHA. If you're going FHA, you have to add in mortgage insurance. That might be another $300 a month, maybe $400. So you might be closer to $4,000 a month, meaning you'd probably have to make somewhere around $12,000 a month, $144,000 a year to be able to qualify for a $500,000 loan. Now that's pretty crazy to me. That's absolutely crazy. But look at this. Look at this. So this is Forbes, right? And this is what's going to happen in the housing market. Government investors and the public have become increasingly committed to reaching net zero by 2050. This ambition intends to mitigate the worst potential effects of climate by limiting warming to 1.5 Celsius above pre-industrial levels. Policies to achieve net zero and the impact of real estate sector include rising carbon prices, building and energy efficiency standards, and renewable energy mandates. Mandate, right? And people might just read over that and not listen. Listen to the next sentence. High carbon prices can translate into higher energy costs and increased operating expenses for real assets. Property owners may need to make investments to meet new energy efficiency standards to avoid restrictions on renting and sales. Forbes. Property owners may need to make investments, not may. If they're going to say it, that's what it means. Property owners, they're going to need to make investments to meet new energy efficiency standards to avoid restrictions on sales. Now, some people might say, John, it might not happen. You know, this is going to just be a problem in 2 weeks. It'll go away and everything's going to go back to normal. No. It's not may. It's going to happen. Look at this. So when we're looking at some of these headlines, you've seen this last couple of days. The heat, all these different problems, right? Globally, right? They're saying the heat waves everywhere. But look at this. Ithaca, New York, becomes the first U.S. city to begin 100% decarbonization of buildings. Now, what's actually going to happen here is local governments are going to completely change building codes to enforce these new upgrades. Now, I'm going to show you fact, and it's on the whitehouse.gov. This is an opinion. As I've mentioned, opinions mean nothing. Facts are everything. It's on whitehouse.gov. It's already signed into law. It's already happening. And private equity investors and a lot of wealthy investors are going to step forward and issue loans for these upgrades to happen. Again, this is already happening. So right here, tapping into private investment for public climate projects, right? The strategy, according to Augury Torres, is not to rely on government money, but to tap into private investors to combine it with incentives from government, which can reduce the cost of capital and interest rates for projects finance. Given the scope of climate, the amount of money can't come from the government, right? Now, you scroll in here, it will literally show you, it says, you need to show a return every quarter, he said. When you set up a big, ambitious project like the next administration will have no choice but to continue. Regarding of ideology, it's a win for private property owners and households to see buildings become more efficient and produce less emissions, and for partners in private equity seeing a return on investment that works for the environment. Private equity puts a lien on the property, and then the property owner pays a monthly payment And you know what happens with the lien. If you have a lien on your property and you don't pay it, problems. That's what's going to happen. But local governments are best positioned to lead on this, right? And she goes on to say, local governments, they can pull the levers. She says a big reason why cities have really emerged as leaders in decarbonization, particularly the buildings, is traditionally land use in buildings and development has been more in the realm of state and local governments. They set the building codes, they have the levers, right? She says they are feeling the impacts and they know they have the levers to use. So when you look at this, and you see here, this came out White House, July 11th, talking about the action to protect communities from extreme heat, right? This came out 3 days after that 11th article. So July 14th, they allocate $20 billion from a green bank for clean energy projects. Now, I've been following this for a couple of years, looking at these trends, because I think that this is where a lot of money is going to be flowing. And I actually reached out to someone on miami-dade.gov that gets direct funding from the government between 0 and 1% interest, and they lend it out to the general public for between 5 and 6% interest to do these mandatory upgrades. And had her on the podcast. You can check out the episode. But this is what's going to happen. So a lot of people are investing in real estate with a very simple strategy that worked very, very well for many years, which is you buy a rental property, you reduce expenses, you increase the net operating income of the building, you refinance your money out, you buy more buildings, the tenants pay off your buildings, you become rich, right? Everyone was using that, or fixed and flipping houses, the traditional models. They worked very, very well. The new model is going to be raising capital and lending capital. That's what all the big investors are going to be doing. All the big investors are going to be raising money and lending it out on all these assets that are going to offer less risk from insurance. Some markets are going to see really high insurance rates. Some markets are going to see relatively stable insurance rates. At least that's what it looks like. So they're going to be buying in markets that are likely affordable, to where they're going to be able to get a really good entry price. They're going to be able to get good insurance. They're going to be able to position themselves across a large portfolio. That's what I think a lot of people are going to do. They're going to be entering certain markets aggressively. This is going to change the entire real estate market to the likes in which we've never seen before. They put it right here on the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. They talk about these new standards. And this link came directly from whitehouse.gov. So directly from the whitehouse.gov, they talk about this to a T. This is what's going to happen. I think even right here, they said that he met with 34 governors, or maybe it's on the other sheet here, that they were meeting with, since October, the Department of Labor, let's see here, it's on another sheet here. But they met with over 30 governors nationwide. They have a whole checklist. Let's see if I can find this. But they had a whole checklist of all the governors that, I'll just search right here. And also this too. I'll show you this as well. They were talking about, they wanted to buy air conditioning units to push for equity and environmental justice, right? So this is what's going to happen, right? This is what's going to happen. You heard people talking about gas stoves and ACs, and this is the move. This is what's going to happen. So if you're a real estate investor, if you are somebody that wants to make money in real estate, you want to play your hand very, very well the next couple of years. You're going to want to sit on cash. You're going to want to really speak to your insurance companies. Make sure that your insurance isn't set to skyrocket the next year or 2 years. Try to get as much information about that as possible. Look at building standards in your local area. I mean, look at Local Law 97 in New York. They're talking about completely reshaping and changing the entire city every single year from starting January 1, 2024 onward. So, I mean, they're talking $200 million in fines property owners are going to start paying January 1, all the way up to $900 million a year by 2030. So this is the big play. I think trillions of dollars are going to be transferred, that's one way to put it, over the next couple years in the housing market. The U.S. commercial real estate market's worth $20 trillion. This is going to be happening nationwide. I think it's going to be worth a hell of a lot more than the commercial real estate market, especially when you're considering it's going to be residential, it's going to be industrial, it's going to be everything, right? So what do you think about it? Do you think that this is going to happen? Do you think that we're going to start to see a lot of these changes that are going to, I mean, look at this, like heat pumps, all the buzz, right? Do you think this is what we're going to see? We're going to see this huge wealth transfer occur in real estate. And when people are buying homes at record high home prices and they need to do these upgrades, the big question is, where does the money come from? I mean, this Ithaca, New York situation, they were quoting somewhere in this article, I'll find it for you quickly, $50,000 is what they were quoting per house. $50,000 per home, right? So if the average home in America is $429,000 and people put an average of 10% down, they would need to basically have more money than they put it on the down payment just to do the upgrades, right? Just to do the upgrades. That's a big number for a lot of people, especially in an inflationary environment with record high consumer, credit card debt, student loan debt, and auto loan debt. So, yeah, I think this is going to be the biggest wealth transfer in real estate history in America. I think we're going to see a lot of people that have very little money be able to, probably get ahead if they, if they're really strategic now. Good credit, cash in the bank, online business. They're positioning themselves to where they can really kind of move with the changing world that we're in. They're going to be able to do something. But a lot of people, I know it myself because I talk to a lot of my friends who are in real estate. They think that this isn't going to happen. Some do, some don't. But they're like, it's not that big of a deal. When you go on whitehouse.gov and you go on these websites and you see it's already law and you're talking to the decision makers, I mean, and they're the ones that are saying, yeah, these are the hard deadlines. Yeah, this is actually happening. I'm going with that versus, hopium. Hopium doesn't mean anything. Fact, it means everything. What do you think about it? Drop below. Let's have a conversation about this. Add me on IG. And if you want to fix your credit to position yourself for the greatest wealth transfer of all time, we'd love to help you at greatcreditfast.com. I'll catch you in the next video.